Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president.
Welcome to 2020 Tuesdays. I'm your host, Luke Radel. Last week in Salt Lake City, Utah, the vice presidential nominees of both parties met for their first and only debate, and there was one moment that everyone was buzzing about.
Listen, bias against minorities is a great insult to the men and women who serve in law enforcement. And I want everyone to know who puts on the uniform of law enforcement every day that President Trump and I stand with you.
That's right. During an answer on a, not so important issue of racial justice and police reform, a fly landed on the head of Vice President Mike Pence and stayed there for about 2 minutes, and the internet went insane. For his part, former VP Joe Biden decided to fundraise off of the fly moment, even selling a $10 Truth Over Flies fly swatter. But the fly was not the only unique part of the evening. As you may have noticed, the candidates were speaking to each other through plexiglass dividers throughout the debate, which were requested by the Kamala Harris team after President Trump tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, honestly, I think the reason that the Harris team fought so hard for the plexiglass was so that at the start of the debate, when Vice President Pence tried to say how great the coronavirus response was by the Trump administration, she could just lean over and say, "Yeah, Mike, great job." Instead of doing that out loud, though, she kind of suggested it with her facial expressions.
They are going to pack the Supreme Court if they somehow win this election.
It was an effective strategy because, honestly, I don't know what I would do if I was in the middle of trying to talk to you guys and someone was on the split screen next to me making faces like that, those kind of skeptical expressions that would make me kind of feel self-conscious about what I was saying. I wouldn't be able to focus on my points. Be very uncomfortable. Senator Harris made a point of attacking Vice President Pence, who's the head of the coronavirus task force, for his administration's response to the pandemic.
Thank you. So I want to ask the American people, how calm were you when you were panicked about where you're going to get your next roll of toilet paper? How calm were you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back? How calm were you when your children couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
That line, especially about toilet paper, really resonated with a lot of Americans who feel that America has gone into this. But when the topic wasn't on the deadly pandemic raging across the country, Pence did do a good job holding his own, like when he criticized Kamala Harris for saying that a Joe Biden administration would get rid of the Trump tax cuts.
The average household income for a family of four increased by $4,000 following President Trump's tax cuts. But America, you just heard Senator Harris tell you, on day one, Joe Biden's going to raise your taxes. It's really remarkable to think, Susan.
So $400,000
He said he's
a
going to
year.
repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait,
I'm speaking.
it'd be important if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week that he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. That was tax cuts that gave the average working family $2,000 in a tax break every single year. Senator,
that is
that's the math.
absolutely not true.
Is he only going to repeal part of the Trump tax cut?
Pence was able to throw Harris off her game on a few key issues like the economy and the Supreme Court. Honestly, I thought both candidates did a good job. I expected Kamala Harris to come out strong, and I believe she did. And I believe she did better than Vice President Pence. Although, I believe that Vice President Pence mounted one of the stronger defenses of the Trump administration's record thus far. It was a victory for the Trump campaign this week that hopefully won't be overshadowed by...
Hello, you may recognize me. It's your favorite president, Donald Trump.
Mr. President, you have coronavirus. What are you doing here?
Actually, no, I don't have corona anymore, okay? I went to a tremendous hospital. Many people call it Walter Reed. And they gave me all the best drugs, fantastic drugs. And now I feel great, okay? And so I decided to fly up here on Marine One to let you know that I am, effective immediately, canceling this show, 2020 Tuesdays. You're fired.
But wait, sir, you can't just cancel my show.
You know, I actually can, okay? Because if I can cancel a presidential debate, which, by the way, I'm doing, right choice, I made it, then I can, because many people are saying that that was the right way to go. Okay, they come up to me, they say, "Sir, you should cancel 2020 Tuesdays," and say, "I agree with you. You're right."
I mean, what am I gonna do now that my show's canceled?
Well, it might be time to do the one thing that me personally I would never do. Self-reflection.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's my cue to go, okay? But take care of yourself, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Well, that's not a bad idea. This year, we have been through a lot. And I have had a lot of fun breaking down all the news that has been happening every Tuesday. But it's not about me. It's about Kamala and Corey and Bernie and Pete and Amy and Liz and Tom Steyer. I know. Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true.
Okay, fine. It's not about Joe Biden then. Cool. But most importantly, it's about you. Because the most important 2020 Tuesday is Tuesday, November 3rd. And I'm not going to have any say on that day. But some of you out there might. So if you can, get out and vote.